I forgot one of my knitting projects. I'll be right back. Hi knitting nerds and welcome to my first ever knitting podcast. If you're new here, hi, I'm Laura, a chemical engineering student who formulates cosmetics and now apparently a knitting podcast girly as well. I spend half of my time doing chemistry related stuff, math equations, and the other half knitting like my life depends on it to cover up for all of the anxiety that my education causes me. So I figured let's combine both and do a knitting podcast for all of these science girlies as well. And I thought we could make this a little STEM meets fiber arts corner of YouTube. Go grab your knitting project, grab a cup of tea, cup of coffee, or a energy drink like me, and let's get going with the episode. Okay, so a little backstory. I actually learned to knit when I was like 10 years old by my grandma, but never decided to do any further with it. And then a couple of years ago, like a year and a half, 2 years, during one of my semesters, which was very, very stressful, I decided that I needed to start knitting again because I needed a creative outlet. I've always been very creative, so drawing, painting, doing sculptures in clay and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why I decided to start knitting again. And I found out that it helped a lot with my anxiety and my stress levels throughout the semester. And then I don't know, I just kept going and now I cannot stop knitting for the life of me. And it's even gotten so worse that I decided to do my master's thesis on knitting and on dyeing yarn, which is kind of crazy to me that this is where I've ended up. I think what really hooked me about knitting is that it's basically material science, but kind of cozy and creative. So, like the fiber art of or the fiber science of the specific fibers and yarns that I'm using affects the drape and the performance of the yarn. And I don't know, it kind of made my interest in chemistry combine with a creative outlet, and then knitting is happening. And I don't know, I feel it's so exciting and it's really refreshing for me. And like having that knowledge from my education and being able to put it into knitting and how I'm creating my garments is really exciting to me. And like the elasticity of yarn is literally polymer behavior, and blocking is literally controlled swelling and rearrangement of proteins. And the stem crossover is just so real. So, because this is my first ever knitting podcast, I thought I would break down the structure for you guys. And I think all of my future knitting podcasts is going to follow the same structure that this one is going to follow. So, first, I'll start by talking about all of the garments or pieces that I finished. Between last episode and the episode that I'm filming. Then I'm going to be talking about my work in progress or my work in progresses because I usually have more than one. And then I will talk about my yarn acquisitions throughout the month if I have done any yarn acquisitions. And I want it to be a space where we're able to talk about STEM, fiber arts, everything in between that. Also, I really want to be able to have some cozy chats about being a woman in STEM and being a woman in STEM and not necessarily going the obvious way. So when you're studying chemical engineering, there's a lot of fields that are very dominant and that people go into afterwards. And being a STEM girly that started out with an obsession in cosmetic chemistry, and I actually specialized in that, and now going into fiber arts, which is a part of material science, I really wanted to talk about that too, that you can study engineering and go into like nitty-bitty, nitty-gritty, nerdy stuff and still apply it to other fields that is not necessarily male dominant fields, so like knitting or cosmetic science. And I want this to be a space where we can talk about that too. So if you have any questions about being a woman in STEM, cosmetic chemistry, yarn fibers, material science, anything, you can drop them down below, and I would be very happy to talk to you guys about them as well. So think of this podcast as a little bit of knitting, or a lot of knitting, a little bit of science, soft girl academia, and a tiny bit of chaos as well. Okay, so I thought we would start by talking about the projects that I've finished. And the first one is the one that I'm wearing. It is a jacket pattern that I freehanded myself. So I don't have any patterns to show you guys, but it looks like this. It has very big sleeves, a dropped shoulder construction. It is a bit more fitted to the back so that it keeps you warm, but still has that cozy look and feel to the front. I did a I-card edge on the sleeves of the jacket as well as on the upper part here. I did a bit of a bigger I-card edge here compared to here. And then the opening of the jacket is kind of fun because I did it in like a diagonal, like crossover kind of way. I will put in a video of me trying it on so you can see it more clearly, which is like the main feature of the jacket. I just got the buttons in that I ordered, and it's these ones. They are wooden buttons in like a dark wooden color that I think will be so cute on this jacket, so I just gotta sew them on. I knitted this jacket in 3 strands of yarn, 1 strand of kid silk mohair from Hobbii, 1 strand of upcycled Sorrel alpaca from Hobbii, and 1 strand of upcycled alpaca blend from Hobbii as well, and I will link the yarns down below. It is such a soft jacket. The combination of alpaca, Sorrel alpaca, mohair, and just the wool that's in the alpaca blend makes it so warm and soft and cozy. There's a bit of nylon in the alpaca blend as well, which makes it a bit more wear resistant, and I don't know, I'm just so happy with how it turned out. It turned out exactly like I wanted it to, and it's my first free-handed knitting pattern that I finished, so I'm very proud of it as well. So the second piece I finished is a tank top. It's Camisole No. 9, and it was because I was going to Zanzibar with my family in October, and I really hope to finish this before going there so I could wear it. It is knitted in a mix of wool and silk, so it's a bit more lightweight. It has a nice drape and a nice shine to it. Wow, there's stuff from my dog on it. Yeah, I was playing a game of Yarn Chicken with this one, and it turned out a bit short, but I thought it would look nicely on like a holiday or like a cover-up top for holidays to keep me a bit more warm in the evenings where it's a bit colder. But I didn't get to finish it before I've gone, so I actually haven't worn this yet, but I'm really excited to wear it. Okay, and the last project I want to show you guys, I already showed on my TikTok, and it's because I was playing a game of Yarn Chicken with this one. I only had, I think, 300 grams of yarn, and I wanted to knit a whole sweater, which is kind of crazy when I'm a 180 centimeter tall girly, which is like, what, 5'9", so I'm pretty tall. So it ended up turning out a bit cropped, but that was your guys' recommendation as well. But it's this one, it's the Sung Sweater by IU Knit. And I really enjoyed following this pattern. It is a very easy top-down raglan sweater. The main design of this is that the ribbing at the neck of the sweater follows down into the raglan, and it is a ribbed raglan, which is 5 stitches of ribbing, and it goes all the way through the raglan and down underneath the arm and into the ribbing at the bottom of the sweater, which is a very nice design touch. I knitted this in a blown yarn, so it's Alpaca Blow by Ganusel, which came in a cone. Unfortunately, when I almost finished the cone, the yarn started coming into scrap, like out as scrap pieces, which was very weird, but it meant that I had to finish up the project a bit before I intended to, even with the game of Yarn Chicken that I was already playing, which is kind of sad, but I think it turned out great. It hits me just about my waist, so it's a bit of another fit that what I wanted it to be. So I think I will have to knit another black sweater at some point, just because I really wanted to have a black stable sweater, and it being cropped was not necessarily what I wanted. But yeah, I hope I will get the use of this anyways, and otherwise I might end up gifting it to someone who I know will end up using it more. So yeah, that was my finished objects, and now I wanted to go into the projects that I'm working on. I have 4 projects at the moment. I honestly thought I wouldn't have anyone to show you guys, but then I looked in my yarn stash and I saw some that I completely forgot about too. But the one I'm the most excited about, and which is my main project, is this one. It is currently consuming my whole life. And whenever I have spare time, I'm knitting on this one. If I'm watching a movie or something for uni as well, I will pick it up and start knitting on it just because I loved the yarn that I'm using for this so much. I'm using the Hobbii upcycled alpaca silk, which is so soft. It has such a nice sheen to it. I'm holding it with a strand of mohair just to give it that halo fluffy look, and I'm obsessed. Like, I'm so in love with this yarn combination, and I cannot recommend that yarn high enough. It's currently on sale for 50% off, which is what I paid for it as well, which is 50 crowns per skein. It's still a bit of money, but it's way cheaper than when it's not on sale. And I don't know, I might have to pick up enough yarn to knit another project because it is just so nice. But I'm knitting the liv-top by Marika Knit, and it's actually supposed to be a top, like a top vest without sleeves, but for some reason I decided I wanted to knit sleeves. So I actually had the biggest scare yesterday because I realized that I needed 2 more skeins than what I had bought, and it is a limited edition color that I'm using, which actually all of the upcycled yarns from Hobbii are limited edition colors just because they can't guarantee that they can get the same color because it's made from waste material. So I had to call the yarn shop and make my boyfriend pick up some yarn from me on the way home. But this is what it currently looks like. I will have to try it on so you can see it better. But it is this cross hem body with a low neck finish, and I don't know, it just speaks for itself. I'm knitting bell sleeves on it because I think that suited the pattern very nicely, and when I tried it on it looked great, so I'm very happy with it. I already reeved in all of the edges that I had on this, so I just need to finish up this sleeve and weave in the edges of that and then block it out, and then it's ready for use. But yeah, it's only taken me like a week to knit this much, which is kind of a testament to how much I love this yarn. The pattern is very easy to follow. I bought it in Danish, and even though she's not Danish and it is translated maybe from English to Danish, it works out very well. It's easy to follow, and I really like the construction of this, so I will definitely have to knit that again. I really like how this fit on my body. It's not too long, so even though it's diagonal, it hits very nicely on the body, and I really cannot wait to wear this one. The second object that I'm knitting is actually one that I completely forgot I started on, but I already have a beanie I knit in this yarn, and now I'm knitting the shawl by Osetta. It's called the Autumn Shawl, I think. It looks like this at the moment. I found it without the wire or anything in it, so I'm gonna have to be careful that it's not going to frog up while I'm holding it. But this yarn is so soft. It's a brushed alpaca. It's from Vikingarn and it's called Maya, and I don't know, I really adore this yarn. I have enough of this yarn in a Bordeaux color for a whole like sweater or cardigan quantity, so I'm gonna have to knit that up at some point too. But yeah, this one is in the color Cognac, I think. And yeah, like I said, I already have a beanie. I think when I finish this shawl, I might have enough for a pair of mittens, which was what I really wanted to make, like a beanie, a shawl, and a pair of mittens. But I wanted this to be quite big and cozy as well, so I wanted to make sure that I have enough yarn for the shawl first. It is a very easy pattern to follow. It's literally just stockinette stitch and then a slip stitch edge, which is easy, nice, pretty. And yeah, I can only recommend both the yarn and the pattern. Thirdly, I decided that I really wanted to knit a Christmas sweater this year, and I actually started making one. It's the Augustins number 9, and it's when I received the notification in my mailbox that she released a pattern, I immediately bought it just because it's so pretty. However, a lot has happened this like autumn winter period. Unfortunately, my childhood dog had to be put down, and 2 weeks after, my granddad passed away very suddenly. So I think I might end up frogging this just because I'm really not feeling Christmas this year, and I'm really not feeling like having a Christmas sweater that reminds me of this year specifically, because it's been quite tough. But Apart from that, this is how far I've gotten. I've split for sleeves and knit quite a bit of the body, and it is my first big colorwork sweater. I knitted one of the other Northern Augustine's patterns, but there was only one stitch in between me having to switch colors, so it was easier to do. As you can see, my tension was quite hard to get right here at the top, and it's kind of bunched up, which is also one of the reasons why I might have to unravel it and start another sweater. I think I didn't know that I had to catch my floats when I'm doing like longer than 7 stitches in between colors, but my mom recommended me to catch the floats, and I don't know, it turned out way prettier down here, but at the same time I didn't have to have that many stitches in between colors. So I'm a bit unsure what I'm gonna do yet. If I just have to put it aside and leave it for next year and then I might finish it up, or if I should just unravel it and then start another project. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below, because I'm really unsure. I really love the yarn, so I really want to knit something with it. It's the Vikingan Trend Merino, which is 100% merino wool. It is non-superwash, and it has such a nice stitch definition, so I think it would knit up nicely as like a cable knit sweater as well, or another colorwork sweater that is not Christmassy. So if you have any recommendations for that, leave them down below. But yeah, that's this pattern. Lastly, I have a project that I completely forgot I started, like with the shawl, and this is actually something I'm knitting from my mom. So this is the best number 10 by My Favorite Things Knitwear, and I created the back panel and I created the right part of the front pieces of this vest. I don't know why I laid it off. The pattern is very easy to follow, and this kind of like lace work is very easy to do, so I might just have to pick it up again and decide that this is my main project. I think it might be my main project when I finish the other sweater before I do anything else with the 2 other patterns, but let's see. I don't really have a lot to say about this. I'm holding 3 strands of yarn together, 2 mohairs. So this one is from Hobie and this one is from Drops. And then I have this yarn, which is an ecological wool from Hobie as well. I think it was discontinued, but the other ones you can still find on the website. It is just 100% wool, and it is very thin and soft, and this turns out very thin and soft with a nice halo as well. And it's kind of melangey just because it's 3 a bit different colors that I'm using for it, but I think it turns out very nicely. Okay, so I already did a yarn haul this week that I posted on my channel, so I'm not gonna go through my yarn acquisitions like that. Okay, I think we can talk a bit about something that I want to cast on. I know I already have 4 projects, but I will be finishing the sweater soon, and I really want to cast something new on. And I actually had a meeting with a yarn brand yesterday, which is going to be my first ever collaboration, so I'm so excited. As you guys know, I really love sustainability in regards to yarn, knitting, actually everything, and I've been talking a bit about sustainability and sustainable yarns on my website. And this yarn brand that I'm going to be working with is called Legan, and she has sustainability in mind as well on her whole shop and with her yarn choices. Her yarns are from Spain, and I haven't received any of them yet, but I will be receiving some, which is 100% merino wool. It's a bit more rustic and very bulky weight, and I'm really thinking about knitting up a set that I can use, because I saw Woozy by Celine video on a knitting festival and that she and her friends were going to, and one of them was wearing skirt number 1 from My Favorite Things Knitwear, and then the Suki cardigan by Celine in matching color, and it looked so cute, and I really wanted to make like a matching set for myself because I think it can be dressed up and down, and it's going to look so nice this autumn/winter, and I can turn it into like a very warm set. I thought I would do the Lakes V-neck pullover by Osetta, as well as My Favorite Things Knitwear skirt number 1. I think these go so well together, and the Osetta V-neck Lakes cardigan just looks so nice, so sophisticated. I really like the V-neck shape for like a piece that I want to wear on top of other things. So you can wear like a nice blouse with like a nice hem or like neckline, or you can wear like a turtleneck and it looks kind of cute, or you can show off your jewelry. So I'm just a very big fan of v-neck sweaters and cardigans as well. And I haven't actually knit a v-neck for myself yet. I knitted a v-neck sweater. It was my Favorite Things knitwear sweater for my cousin for her birthday, and she was so happy with it and she's using it a lot. So I might end up knitting that one for myself as well. And I don't have a v-neck cardigan, at least not one that I have knitted myself either. So I'm so excited to receive this and that I can cast that on. Furthermore, I bought some yarn for Black Friday that you might have seen if you've watched my Black Friday haul. I would link it on the screen so you can go watch it if you want to see it as well. But I received some cashmere yarn from there, and I've never knitted with cashmere before, so I really want to cast something on. I have no clue what I want to knit with it yet. It's in a ultramarine blue color and it's so pretty, but I'm so unsure what I'm gonna knit. I have 5 skeins of it, which is what, 125 grams of yarn, and each ball is like 100 meters, I think, so it's not a lot of yarn. But yeah, let me know if you have any recommendations for what to knit, because I really want to knit something nice that I'm gonna wear on my skin so I can feel the cashmere fluffiness and softness on my skin. I might end up knitting like a t-shirt or something that I can use in the changing weather, when it's like transition weather from summer to fall, or from like fall to winter. Sometimes I think it's nice to have like a bit of a warmer piece but not too hot, and especially for all the Christmas dinners and stuff that is coming up. I know it's cold outside, so you want to wear something warm, but at the same time wearing a full-on knitted sweater or cardigan is just too hot, because people are dancing and having fun and it's just so hot most of the time. Yeah, that is what I might cast on. Wait, I will show you. The color looks like this. It is so pretty, so I'm really excited to cast it on. I got my nails done too, and I think they look kind of black maybe in this light, but they are actually like a darker blue. So I think having to knit this up and all the pictures that I can take while knitting this up with my nails could look so aesthetically pleasing, as well as just me wearing this color. Furthermore, I bought this cherry red upcycled merino wool from the same brand as well, and it is 75% merino wool, 20% polyamide, and 5% viscose. And I bought 6 balls of this. There's 50 grams in each, but there is 230 meters, so I have almost 750 meters if I hold this yarn double, and I think that is what I might end up doing. And I really want to knit a cardigan for this one. Okay, so it said on the website that if you hold this yarn double, you will get around a 20 stitch gauge. So one of the patterns I really want to knit up with this is the Pado Cardigan by Shayla Kang, and it is such a beautiful tie front cardigan with like big bell sleeves with like a bit of pattern on the sleeves as well. It looks very cute, and I think it will look very pretty in this color, especially as like a more of a festive cardigan that I could put on top of a pretty shirt, or like a nice shirt for an event or like a Christmas dinner. So I might end up knitting that. Otherwise, I'm completely in love with this Sweet Pea cardigan by These Beloved. It is just so dainty, so pretty. It has a gauge of 24 stitches, and this held single is 28 stitches and held double it's 20 stitches. So I'm actually a bit unsure if I can hit gauge either with a single strand or double strand, but that might just mean that I have to pick up a mohair or another thread that I can knit with this. To me, this is just the epitome of like a feminine cardigan, with the like very dainty and pretty neckline, as well as the shoulder shaping with short rows. It has like a nice thick but very like small button band as well. The sleeves are very nicely fitted, and I don't know, overall it just looks so girly and so dainty and so pretty to me that it might be this one I'm knitting up. But like I mentioned, I don't know if I can hit gauge. Otherwise, I will definitely knit this in another yarn. And lastly, I might end up knitting up the Dandelion Cardigan by Hyundi Lee. I think that is probably not how you pronounce it, but I will put everything on the screen so that you guys can see. This is a very dainty and fine cardigan as well. I think it looks very pretty. It falls nicely on her body. I think this pattern includes both the cardigan and the top underneath, so I might end up knitting up both, which could look very nice. However, I'm a bit unsure if I knit this. I think I will definitely have to get a mohair, just because I think this would look so nice with like the fluffiness and halo kind of looking from the mohair. Yeah, but I'm really not sure what I'm going to knit, so you can leave a comment down below letting me know which one you prefer and what knitting plans that you have that you are going to cast on soon in this winter month, because I would really love to know. So that is my first ever knitting episode, and if you want to see where this knitting stem hybrid thing goes, then subscribe and come back to my next video. And please tell me in your comments, what do you do when your brain is fried? Do you go to knitting as well, or do you watch movies, read a book? I really would love to know if I'm the only one that prefers knitting to calm my brain. And if you're a fellow STEM girly, are you also on the verge of burnout? I really feel like having to go to uni when it's dark, when you wake up, and dark when you come home is just so depressing. And I would love to know if any of you girls are out there as well. Thank you for being here for episode 1, and I see you next time. Bye!